Hey everyone, in this tutorial we're going to take a look at how you can use AccuPOSE to quickly create custom keyframed animations and optimize them using features like Motion Trail, Curve Editor, and Edit Motion Layer. AccuPOSE is an AI-trained motion system that allows users to quickly create keyframed animations by applying pose presets and utilizing control points. Let's take a look at laying the framework for the first couple of steps. In pose presets, you'll find numbered poses that are meant to be applied in sequence, like these dashes under the daily life training model. If we go down a few frames and apply the second pose, your character will remain in place as the pose alignment is set to root by default. Let's change this to the right toe, as that is the one that is currently planted on the ground, and then reapply the second pose, which will be anchored to where the character's right toe was in the previous keyframe. You may notice a green circle around the hip, which is a gizmo used to adjust the character's position. You can toggle this on and off and use it to tweak your character's position. Each preset pose has control points that allow you to lock certain joints, preventing them from being affected by full body adjustments. This allows you to tweak things like the foot position here to accommodate the bumps in the terrain without affecting the rest of the body. Under Combat, you'll find a Raging Orc category where I'll apply the next pose. Again, since our left foot is planted and we're going to launch our character forward, let's set the alignment to the left toe first and go forward in the timeline. After applying, I can then tweak the desired control points to accommodate the terrain and tilt our character forward to prepare for launch. I'll then set alignment to the hip and apply the smash pose. After which, I'll use the body gizmo to adjust the position and rotation. Let's tweak the position using the control panel next. With control points active, that point on the body will not be affected by AI. So for example, if I set transform and rotation control points active for the hip, it will remain stationary and unaffected by AccuPOSE AI if I adjust the foot position. If the hands are locked by control points, you can use the Hip Influence Upper Body option to remove those and allow the hip rotation to influence the upper body position. There are also controls on the hands as well. If I open up the right palm using the gizmo, it will auto-apply a Keep Finger Adjustment option, and you'll see the finger points turn black. This means that we can adjust the position of the hand or other body parts, and the finger positions will remain locked. And you'll see the lock toggled on as well. If I turn this off and adjust the left hand gesture, then move the hand's transform position, you'll see it will snap back to the original clenched hand gesture. So let's turn it on once again, and you can see now that the hand gesture now remains. You can also use mirror control to make adjustments to mirror your control to the other hand simultaneously. Let's apply the next walk pose, which will apply control points for the feet that are useful for making the pose adjustments when we reposition our orc to the ground. You'll see we have rotation and transform control points applied to both feet, which is good because our character will be planted. If you notice something like slightly unnatural foot position, you can use the Compute option to automatically optimize the pose to look more natural. Using the Hip Head Limb Control Points preset gives you the most control without AI, which allows us to tweak foot position with minimal influence on other body parts. There are copy and paste state functions that allow you to copy both control point settings and animation position information as well. Next, let's look at adjusting the motion we've created. In the Edit Motion Layer tool, I'll enable the motion trail for the hip to see our orc's trajectory. It needs a little tweaking, so let's use the Curve Editor and adjust the Y position of the hip to create a steeper trajectory. Once we're done that, we can insert different poses to act as in-betweens for our existing keyframes. This show-off pose can be used to accentuate our launch, and this smash can be used as a precursor to our landing. If you encounter foot sliding after applying an AccuPOSE preset, you can use the Reach Target tool to lock certain points for a specific duration. In this case, we have a bit of foot sliding, so let's open up the Reach Target tool and create a dummy for the right toe at this point where it's planted. As you can see, we need to release that Reach Target constraint as the foot leaves the ground, so let's open up the Reach track in the timeline. You'll see the keyframe, but we need to also reduce the blending area so the constraint only occurs suddenly at that frame, and doesn't blend and affect other parts. Then, as the toe is about to leave the ground, we can release that constraint, and once again cut the blending time to avoid affecting the movement of other limbs. Let's repeat the process for the right foot during that step. Again, be sure to release the constraint as the foot leaves the ground. Again, we can do the same thing for launch to keep the feet from floating upwards to match the AccuPOSE pose that we added earlier. Here we can extend the blending time to avoid the toe going through the terrain. We can also use the Edit Motion Layer tool to make minor position changes to create a more dynamic looking overall motion. Finally, let's blend our keyframed animation with a preset motion clip. I'm going to apply it to the frame right after our animation ends. When we do, you'll see the character disappear initially, as the motion is currently applied based on the origin point. To fix this, simply select the clip and open up Motion Direction Control. Then change the part and position from root to the left toe, which is planted at the beginning of our motion. Next, we need to blend the two clips together. Here, I'm just going to use the blending points to create a 50-50 blend between the two. However, you'll see foot sliding after we blend them, so once again we can use our trusted old Reach Target technique on the planted foot to get that fixed. Reach targets can be placed at any time and overriding any blending, so we don't need to worry about the timing. You can tweak once again with the Edit Motion Layer tool, and you're good to go. The goal of this tutorial was to provide you with an overview of the various tools that you can use in combination to form a complete animation workflow, starting with automated full-body posing with AccuPOSE. The in-between features complement this powerful tool. Motion Trail makes it easier to observe trajectories visually in the viewport, while Curve Editor allows you to refine the small joint movements and rotations in detail. The Edit Motion Layer provides an efficient and multifunctional way to manually refine joint positions and make dynamic motion adjustments. Finally, the Reach Target tool helps resolve foot sliding issues alongside a plethora of other scenarios. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.